Hi, welcome back to my Star Wars collection, and in this episode we're going to be going through the publications. It's going to be split over about 2 or 3 videos. This one's going to be concentrating on comics, novels, and kind of like junior releases. Now, I have to hold my hands up, I don't have a whole lot of Star Wars, in the reading form for novels and comics. I'm an absolute beginner on that. So if you want a full kind of like list of what you can get, I highly recommend checking out Nathan P. Butler's from the Star Wars home video library thingamajig. He goes through like issue by issue. Okay, I'm literally only going to show you what I've got so far, and it comes in the form of 2 junior releases and a companion book, a couple of comics, and a couple of books. And that's it, really. That's all I've got. So we're going to start with the junior releases. And the junior releases have 2 different goings on here. And they're really nice, actually. This one is Star Wars in 100 scenes, and it goes through all 6 films. And I think I'm thinking about it now. Actually, I think I've shown this in another video. I'm going to show it again though, because it really ties in with the one I'm going to show you next. And it goes through all 6 films, and it basically shows key films of all these 6 films. And it starts at the very beginning of episode 1, and it just tells you scene by scene what's happening in the video, in the movie, and you can follow it as you go. It's very nice. There's loads here. I have actually shown this in another video, but it is actually an interesting read, but it's more aimed at primarily at kids. This is my daughter's book, which is the same as well. It's for this monster set. Now, this is my daughter's set as well, but one of them I did have an earlier version of, but this is an updated, more revised version, and this is the Character Encyclopedia and the Ultimate Visual Guide for Star Wars. Very heavy. And the 2 books you get inside, you get the Ultimate Visual Guide and you get the Character Encyclopedia. And this book is really nifty, because what you essentially get here is full profile shots of every single character you've ever come across in any of the 6 films, even right down to the AT-AT pilots. You get to learn their names of people you only see in background, maybe even very briefly. This dude here, working for the Empire. He's a human. He carries blasters, grenades, thermal detonators, emergency flares, and everything. And he appears in episode 6, and he's also an AT-AT pilot. And you can also find him with Chewbacca, because he's in the scene with Chewbacca. And it gives you a nice little sort of information about the character as well. And it goes through every single one. I mean, they're all here, really. It is very nice. It's very interesting just to sort of read, because there is little tidbits here. So you've got Qui-Gon Jinn and how he fights, and what he thinks, and it is actually a very nice book. Again, aimed at children, but introduces them to the world of the films. Now, this one is the one you want to check out. This has everything Star Wars, for young and old, and I enjoy reading this. In fact, I currently am reading this. This book has the full history of the Star Wars universe, the expanded universe that goes through all the novels and the comics, tells you everything about the galaxy. I mean, I could do a whole book review just on this, and I may do in the future. But this one tells the whole backstory to the lead up to these 6 films. The whole story after the 6 films go on. What happens after, Return of the Jedi. Obviously, in the wake of the new Force Awakens film, none of this actually takes place now. It's been sort of debunked and doesn't really exist, unless they want to use it for the films or the future, the new universe that they've created. But it is a really interesting read, because not only does it go into the history and everything else Star Wars, It goes into the visual effects, it goes into the comics, it goes into the books, the toys, the fan sites, the games. It just goes through every single thing Star Wars. It's kind of like everything collected over the years is in this book. And considering it's pretty thin, it's jam-packed with information. I highly recommend picking that one up. So them two are available in a double pack, but you can buy them separately. I've got this one separately with a different cover and a dust jacket. The last one for this episode is the Star Wars Comic Companion. Now this one was printed in 2006, so it only goes up to then. Any comic that was made after 2006 up to 2015, before Marvel took the rights and said, right, that's it, we're taking control. It doesn't include them, unfortunately, but a full list you can find on Wikipedia and other various sites, I'm sure. But this one is actually good because it does flesh out the timeline of events and everything, going right back, but it only goes back as far as 5,000 years. But it is a very nice read because it has very nice pictures of covers. As well as that, it sort of plots out the whole history of everything that happened in the expanded universe, obviously including the 6 films. And it's got some nice artwork, and it splits them up into the usual 7 categories that Star Wars Expanded Universe has been split up to. But if you're wanting to collect comics, if you're wanting to actually track these books down, it's great because it tells you the comic, what it is, so Tales of the Jedi, the Golden Age of the Sith, and it tells you the story kind of briefly in that. But it also tells you Tales of the Jedi had about 7 different releases in with it. So if you want to get that full run, or, you know, if you don't want to get the full comic run, get the graphic novel, but you can actually find and track down all these books just by this book alone. Or you can read the whole collected story in this book, because that's what really it is. It's basically a timeline of events that go throughout all these comics, backed up with the imagery from the comics that are beautifully reproduced, and there's beautiful pictures in here. You can really see the history of the comics and how they came about, how they evolved throughout over the years, and the different styles of the artists, and appreciate the artwork. And that's what I really appreciate, is the artwork. It is really nice. I mean, look at that. It's just beautiful, you know. This is a really nice, interesting read, and it's just for the comics. It starts off with 1977, the very first early issues before the film even came out, and goes right to 2006. It's a beautiful read. There is a separate one, which I currently don't have, for just the novels. And then the next episode, we'll show you a few of them novels, and I'll show you a few of the comics that I haven't shown you here. And take care. That's this episode wrapped up for the Star Wars collection. May the Force be with you.